Hi everyone, this is Henry with Conoly Coaster Designs with our first Dorney Park 2024 update and what is suspected to be Dorney Park's first new ground-up roller coaster since Hydra the Revenge in 2005. And yet again, all signs are pointing to this is going to be a brand new B&M Dive Coaster, more than likely their new narrower design like on Dr. Diabolical's at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and that has opened in a couple different parks around the world. And of course, today was Season Pass preview day. And though I wasn't there, luckily for us, there were a ton of people there who were gracious enough to share their footage and their images with me. All credit to them is assigned on the photos as you'll see them. And also, as far as I know, so that way if anybody from Dorney Park watches this, as far as I know, all of these photos were taken from publicly accessible areas, and when we are there actually doing updates, we will be doing the same from publicly accessible areas. So now let's dive into what we're seeing so far on this brand new, exciting B&M that's going to become the Dorney, and it's really going to set Dorney apart. So the first image you have here is a benchmark nail, if I understand correctly. And just in case I screw this up, anybody that knows more about engineering and reading these types of things than me, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm a roller coaster nerd. I'm not a construction nerd. But what we have here are two images of a benchmark nail. As far as I understand it, this kind of helps the construction crews and those doing the placement of the footers and all the land clearing and leveling and grading determine that at what height off of sea level they are, so that way everything matches up to the engineering drawings and the specifications of the roller coaster. So it's not really a super exciting thing, more of a nerdy thing for us to geek out with and kind of enjoy. So moving into the next series of photos, this one specifically from Ibby Shaw. You're going to see a lot of photos from Ibby Shaw in the Dorney Park Connoisseurs Facebook group. We are seeing the first holes being dug for footers. And in this photo, it took us a little bit of time to figure out between all of these photos what we were looking at. And best we can tell, we are looking at one of the larger rectangular footers that's going to exist inside the former Stinger plot of land, along with two smaller footers that will be a part of the ride's support system. This photo is looking back towards the former Stinger station. This is looking from Possessed towards the former Stinger station. You can see two drainage ditches, which we used to help align where these photos were with the drawings that were presented to South Whitehall Township, so we could really determine what we were looking at. In the next photo, you're going to see... I decided to throw this in, even though it really doesn't do anything for us. It just gives you a sheer idea of how deep some of these holes are and what they're excavating. This is going to be a pile of dirt from the larger rectangular footer that you'll see in a moment here. And now here you go. You see the larger rectangular footer in the foreground here. That is going to be one of two that I believe, if I'm remembering the drawings correctly, will exist inside this part of the Stinger plot of land that is now going to be the 2024 coaster. In the back there, where you see the 5 cones, you're going to see what looks to be two smaller footers that will be installed for the support on this track. And here you can see a photo of that larger footer again, along with a screenshot from the actual drawings presented to South Whitehall Township. This was what we were able to use to help determine what this was, and I thank my wonderful fiance for helping me through this one, because I was having a little trouble here. So, to help further orient where we are, here is a Google Earth image of this plot of land. You can see where I highlighted where that drain is. And then in relation to these footers, you can also see that I've marked out the drain. These footers are pretty big footers. Best I can tell based upon the architectural drawing or the site development drawing, they're roughly 20 feet wide and something probably like 10 feet in length. So this is going to be a large footer. It's going to be for one of the major elements on this ride. It's going to be impressive to see how this one comes together in the coming days. And now we're looking back towards one of the former buildings in the rear, the Zoorama buildings. And we see some marking flags highlighting some utilities. As anybody that hasn't looked at the drawings, this looks like it's going to become a part of the queue area for this ride. So it's going to take you back towards that curve behind the Stinger plot of land that Zephyr takes. And you'll snake through the queue back there. It's a rather large queue, so as expected, Dorney projects that this ride is going to draw a crowd, and I can see why. It will be the first B&M Dive Coaster in the area. The next closest one you got to drive a few hours to get to. So this is definitely a very exciting development for the park, and hopefully spells a really nice future for the park. Here we see another view of the Zoorama building, the Feed the Sea Lions building. Took me a few minutes to really try and find this on the drawings, based upon the existing structures and everything, and then looking at the future development. But this looks like it will be torn down, and this is where we're going to see a lot of the queue line exist. A lot of switchbacks will be in here. And again, you can see all these flags marking out where utilities are, so that way they don't strike them, they don't damage any existing utilities that are currently underground. It took us a while to figure out where this was, but the two manhole covers that you see in the front were really how we were able to identify it. And then up in the upper right corner, you can see the drawing for the queue line and get a general idea of how big their queue line will be. Also, looking down in the far right bottom of the drawings there, you can see 2 footers. I believe these are going to be for a part of the transfer system. I'm not 100% sure. El Toro Ryan did a much better video analyzing the footers than I have. Go check his video out. He did an excellent job with that. So what we're looking at here, again, photos from Ibby Shaw, are going to be 2 different markings on the service road that is just beyond the fence line. Zephyr runs past this. I believe these are just marking out utilities. Again, if anybody is, has an engineering degree or is a little better at reading what these construction markings mean, definitely tell me down in the comments. Again, I'm a roller coaster nerd. I'm a theme park nerd. Reading construction stuff is a little confusing to me. So I'm going to do my best to study up on this stuff for future videos, but this one, I'm a little rusty on this one. So we're going to see some more photos here. This photo from Justin Seelig. This is going to show the 2 and possibly 3rd. I can't necessarily tell from the photo. Again, this is taken from a public area, showing the service road being dug up, and where we are likely going to see a few footers. If you look at the drawing that was presented at the South Whitehall, you can see where some of these footers exist, where the service road is. It'll be interesting to see how they reroute the service road and keep it open despite having these footers in place. And for anybody that's a fellow coaster nerd, before you try to correct me, I know these are just the foundations being dug for the footers. The footers still have to be poured. They'll still have to be framed out and all that stuff. This is just some excavation work in preparation for that step. Again, a close-up view of the second of what potentially is 3 excavations for the foundations of a footer. And this one looking at Zephyr, again, from a publicly accessible area as far as I understand. You can see a marking flag marking out utilities, and yet another excavation for a footer. I don't know if we have 3 or 4 of these dug. I'll get a better idea next week when I'm at the park. And another close-up view of one of these excavations for footers. They are pretty deep, as to be expected. This is going to be an extreme thrill ride. It is going to put a lot of pressure on the support system, so you have to have great foundation for something like this. But it's really cool getting to actually see this up close and personal. And this is going to be yet another view of that foundation being dug out. And then here is another view of it, and here you can see some of the existing um, conduit and other utilities that are underneath of where this is going to be. I would assume that they're probably going to reroute those before they pour the footers. Again, if you are someone that's smarter than me with construction, definitely let me know in the comments, please. And with that, that is going to do for a first update on the brand new 2024 Bollinger and Mabillard Dive Coaster coming to Dorney Park. Comment down, let me know what you think this thing might be named, what it might be themed. Tell me if I did a good job. Let me know if what you want to see on the next video. The next video, I promise to have actual video footage around the site. I will take some high quality photos, and maybe we'll be able to see something, how much this has changed in a week, especially with the park being on a slimmed down operating schedule right now. I'm going to do the shameless plug thing. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and stick around with me as we track the journey of this coaster from foundation to final track installation to first test rides. I will be doing everything I can to document this. I will hopefully be attending the park on a weekly basis, and look forward to seeing what this beautiful coaster looks like. And thank you for watching.